Where were we last? That's right. You guys had just finished your combat practice with a bunch of automatons that were resemblant of various uh, individuals, Cordelia, and probably what it will be some of her henchmen that will be there in the final battle. Uh, a lot of you uh, enjoying a nice victory, little party celebration, if you would, at the end of that combat. You, with Itel, correct me if I'm wrong pronouncing that, Bread, but
Étoile in the traditional language, in Langdor French, étoile.
Itwell. So, with Itwell, congratulating you, all of you, and uh, ecstatic with the success of the experiment of her anti-magical device, um, where to help you guys combat uh, Cordelia's powerful magics. Uh, she last did say that there she has enough data and only enough materials for two of these devices. So you'll be able to use those later. Um, you guys are still within the Kodiak, the airship, or bear ship, if you will, for Bread's
Ugh.
sanity.
Hey.
Nice.
Ugh.
um, but yes. So with that, it's all comes up to you, Ferret, and she kind of like taps your shoulder and kind of like whispers to you, saying, uh, "When you have a moment, I would like to speak to you in private, before we land on the shores of the kingdom. But for the meantime, please enjoy your your victory and keep your morale high."
Oh, oh,
Um,
all right. Okay, I will come find you afterwards.
okay. Uh, as she leaves, she stops by you, Brad, and she kind of like puts her hand on your shoulder, and she goes, "I'm proud of you, brother." And she walks out and grabbing a the young raccoon girl by the collar. She kind of just just trying to stare over at Crow, and she grabs her by the collar and says, "All right, come on, enough idle time. We have work to do." Um, uh,
But
but yes, with your celebration in mind and a little bit of time on your hands, what is there anything that you guys would like to do?
Ooh.
I stand around looking somewhat surprised, but really pleased with myself.
Oh. Is that all you want to do? Stand around looking surprised?
Um, well, no, I just wasn't expecting that.
You're just like, huh?
Wow. I'll have
Uh,
to have a word with her before we leave.
I have a question.
Mhm.
Not actually a character. I'm sorry, but does anyone else see like a multicolored dancing wizard in the top right of D&D Beyond?
No, but it does appear sometimes.
I think
what
if
are
you
you
hover
talking
over
about?
it, like just above the anvil icon, it'll show up, and then like when you highlight menus and stuff, the
Oh yeah.
text will change color.
Yeah.
I don't see this anywhere.
Nope.
What
Huh.
on
It's
earth?
there.
To just mess
Hover
around
in the
with.
navigation bar above the anvil.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's completely irrelevant, but
Oh yeah, party time. Anyway.
Yeah.
Um.
I
Um.
just thought it was worth like. I think people should know about this. That's all.
It's party time.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I apologize.
No, you're fine.
Alright.
You're fine. But yes. So is there anything you guys would like to do? At least immediately after this lovely victory that you guys all share.
I would
So-
like to do something, but you go first, Panja. I guess.
Yeah, ladies first. You're the princess.
Can I just check whereabouts are we? Are we like in, I don't know, like a mess hall kind of thing? What's the?
You are still currently in you are still in the projection chamber where you guys did the combat session, where everything kind of like transformed and everything looks different. You guys are still in that chamber, but and it's pretty bland and empty in here, with other than you guys and a few automaton uh bodies kind of just slumped over, like they're powered down.
Can we see any of the projectors around?
You can give me a perception check for him.
Oh dear.
Fine.
Fine.
Oh God. My browser does not like that roll.
Uh-oh. Is it party time? Did party time break it?
It's like it's in slow
Um,
motion, and it's like even putting in sound effects in slow motion.
Could we?
Well,
It's very
unf-
dramatic.
Could we
with
just-
a 12, unfortunately, you
Yeah.
do not see any of the projection, anything that would project these images. Or
can I have a look around as well?
you may.
Can I do that with advantage because it's visual?
You can. Okay. With
Well,
23, they're not outwardly appearing. Like they are like built into, so the way the room is made up, it looks like there's a bunch of tiles, and in these, like in the grooves of the tiles, you can barely make out like dots, and you
Barely.
think these dots are like there's hundreds of these in the grooves of these like large, like 5 foot by 5 foot tiles.
So they're not exactly something we could borrow then, perhaps.
No.
Never mind.
Borrow.
It's fine. If you're looking for distractions, I have my rooster.
Is there
It's true.
when I've sort of looked at this, is it anything that I could perhaps figure out a way to improvise something on a small scale?
There's unfortunately probably not within the time frame that you guys have before this final battle, but in probably a month or two, if you were to dedicate your time to it, probably, but not within the time allotted to use it for probably what you're intending.
Alright. Can I oh, was there still more?
No, I was just gonna say, okay, thank you.
Ah, okay. Can I sort of awkwardly wander off? Everyone's sort of celebrating and having a good time, and I'm just like, oh god, and all that caffeine, like that's a bit embarrassing. So can I awkwardly wander off and go and find Ruby?
Are you trying to sneak away from everyone or no?
No, I'm not
Okay.
trying to sneak. I'm just like awkwardly
Okay.
leaving.
Yeah, absolutely. Go. You can go right ahead. Give me. What would it be? Give me a. Yeah, you're trying to find someone.
Uh-huh.
Similar to the tracking, so I'll give me a survival check in order to be able to see if you can track where Ruby is or see where Ruby has gone.
All right. 12.
Mm, uh, Unfortunately, you don't know where she might be, at least not on your own. I mean, you could potentially ask around to see where she might
I was
be,
about to say.
but like you can ask around, but like finding her on her own is gonna be fairly difficult because this is a fairly large ship.
I'm apparently rubbish at that. Don't worry, it's still the caffeine. Can I find someone to ask? See if I can locate Ruby.
Uh, give me a perception check
Oh my god.
to see.
Okay.
Just see who. Let's see who you find.
I'm better at this. Bad rolls from earlier coming back to haunt me.
give me just a moment, and I'm gonna make a roll of my own. Let's see here. All right, let's grab these and
No.
okay. um,
You okay there?
so you find a kind of like just a group of crew members, kind of like just standing around gossiping, talking, and stuff like that. And you ask them if they've seen any of the other adventurers or the other party. They said that they saw some of them uh, in the mess hall, though they don't know if they are still in there.
God, this is turning into more of a mission than I thought. Can I wander in that direction?
Absolutely. So you will like you've oh so let's say you've passed by the mess hall. You know where you're going. You get there. Let me make another roll here.
Can I say something to the princess as she's on the way out, or will she not be going past us?
Oh, she'll pass you guys. No,
Princess, would you mind if I have a little look at your staff? It seemed to sort of do some unexpected things during that test. I was wondering if I could take it to one of the onboard labs and investigate it a bit further, see maybe if there's something else it does that we're unaware of.
Oh, you mean my spear?
Your spear, rather. Yes, sorry. So
Don't
I'm still hyped from combat.
don't go getting me and my sister mixed up, please. Yeah, sure. I just toss my spear to him
yeah,
because
you toss your spear.
I trust him. I trust him to not like
Yeah.
pinch it.
You toss your family's spear to Bread, and
I
for the
pretend to fumble the catch and then wink at her.
Oh,
um but but yeah, so you find your way. So you end up leaving. You find these people, and you go and end up making your way to the mess hall. Everyone is there. Everyone in that other party is sitting there enjoying a nice meal and
oh,
kind of having casual
hallelujah.
conversation.
Oh my god. Finally. It took 2 failed rolls. but I found her. Oh, yeah. Can I go up to Ruby and ask to talk to her?
Absolutely. Did you want to pull her aside to speak to her privately, or did you want?
Yeah, I'd like to pull her aside to speak to her privately and say I have a bottle of wine that we can share for her troubles. Speaking to me, I don't know.
Can Ferret trying to ask Ruby out? What?
No.
Um, no.
FedEx Ruby, start your fanfic now.
Georgia, get to work. Yeah.
Your
No.
target, Georgia.
But you pull her aside. She's just like, "Is something wrong, princess? Is you don't normally like pull me aside to talk. Is there something wrong?"
I mean, I've only just met you pretty much like a few days ago, so
And this
yeah,
is
I don't
crazy.
normally do that. I was just like, I had a few things to ask you. Something to something that I'd like you to look over. But if you want to have a drink of wine and a gossip, I am missing a bit of a bit of, I don't know, ladies' time.
Ah,
Being
girl time.
yeah, skill time
Girl time.
in a
Uh,
party of men.
I you know, I can't deny a good glass of wine. Absolutely. But yes. What did you want to talk about?
You see, I have this. I assume I still have it. I don't think I put it down anywhere. I have this book that I took from Cordelia's room. It appears to be a diary of some sort. However, um, it's very strange. Would you like to have a look over it?
Uh, she's like, I don't mind at all. So you hand her the book, and she kind of starts like glancing through it, um, seeing like obviously as a diary is like past dates and things of that nature. Then she gets to the like present and just starts reading, and then there's like she keeps flipping through the pages, and she starts getting to like future dates as if uh, and she gets this very puzzled look on her face. You see her kind of scratch her head in kind of like confusion. She goes, "I it's odd. These future dates, they're all spoken as if they're in past tense, as if they've already happened. I I don't know. I can't make heads or tails of this. At least not right now. Not without further study. But it seems like unless Cordelia is able to either time travel or predict the future, I don't really know how she would speak in this manner as if she was so certain these things would happen.
Oh, darn! I'd hoped you'd have come across something like this before.
I mean, time magic is very much a thing, but it's extremely difficult and dangerous for people to even use it. So, time travel is, I mean, not out of the realm of possibility, but at the same time, wouldn't seem feasible for someone of what I was, someone I would assume of her age.
Hmm. I see. Interesting. Yes, I can't seem to understand it either.
I'm sorry I can't be of more help with any of this.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. I just thought that perhaps, as you seem to be a powerful mage yourself, that you'd know more, but I guess hopefully we'll find out at some point what exactly is going on here.
Well, maybe we can learn more in the future about all of this, but at least for now, there's too little information to go on.
Hmm.
But if you need anything else, please don't hesitate to ask.
Oh, I won't. But thank you
Mhm.
for your time.
Anytime, princess. Anytime. Uh, is there okay? So, is there anything else you want to ask her or do?
Uh, nope, that was it.
Okay. Um.
All of that for nothing.
Um. Is there anyone else in the party that would like to do anything before? Uh.
Yeah, I
Before
wanna
moving?
play with people for a bit.
Play with beep boop. Uh. Give me an animal handling roll.
Animal
Mm.
handling.
You know what? Yeah, you're. I'm gonna still make it animal
No,
handling.
fuck off.
Are you?
What is that? Aris!
Beboop sees Grandpa Barris as the new owner.
Oh my god.
uh,
Beep Boop starts trying to playfully drag him around, like when he was bringing him in for the res.
Beep Boop, like Beep Boop in like some capacity, kind of like is able to like latch on to your robes a little bit, like not like fully, but like the little like strings and everything that kind of like dangle as you kind of like float above the ground. Beep Boop is sitting there trying to play with your robes as if like as if a cat trying to play with a like little string toy, and he's just having an absolute time of their lives.
Yeah,
Um,
thank you. That's all.
I'm like,
why is that the nat 20? Why is that the first nat 20 of the session? Why is it always
right?
something silly? Um,
I'm like sitting in the corner, like
just
sulking.
oh.
I really thought I was gonna be useful this time.
Oof.
Like, I'm really trying my best, but I just know it's not good enough.
Are you talking to yourself?
Yeah.
Um,
Have I left by this point?
yes. So
Okay.
like as you're kind of like looking around, and if as you leave, you notice that Numpty is also nowhere to be found.
Oh wow, he really isn't.
Oh my
Um,
god, he's
I,
just
I,
gone. Oh
I
no.
was going to say if I hadn't left, if I was on my way out and I noticed Crow, I'd interact with him. But if I've already left, then don't worry about it.
Well, like if well, as far as at least I know, you're still in that room, so you can like stop by Crow before you leave.
So I've got the princess's spear with the intention of taking it off to analyze it a bit. I see Crow looking a bit down. I mean, we bonded a bit on the way to Cataland, and I say, hey, I'm just going to pop off to one of the labs and see if I can figure out what's going on with this spear. Do you want to come along and give me a hand?
Yeah, sure. Hopefully they'll be able to do something then. Just I just don't want to disappoint Ferret anymore.
Hey, you don't disappoint her. She's just teasing
She tried
you.
to
I
kill
mean,
me.
well, yeah. I suppose she did try to. Then she threw a shoe at you, and then she threw another shoe at you. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Speaking of,
I
is Ferret walking around barefoot right now?
Yes, I am.
Barefoot.
Oh god. Yeah, I left my
Oh,
shoes behind because I was fed up with them and how they disappointed me in not hitting Crow.
Hmm. Understood. Um, so yes, so you two will be heading out to probably one of the laboratories. Brad, you don't need to roll for it because you were traveling on this ship when you arrived to pick up Ferret. Um, it, Barris, are you going with them, or are you just kind of going to do your own thing?
I will go with them.
Okay, so the three of y'all, your owl and Beep Boop, all kind of just like go down throughout the halls, stuff like that. You make it to the library. Itwell and this young raccoon girl are in there in this laboratory working on a machine. And it looks like they're putting final touches on a small cylindrical device. As you walk in, Brad, she Tell like pops up and goes, "Oh, um, we are almost done making the we're almost done finalizing the data for the first of the two devices. Is there something you need?"
well, we have this spear that belongs to the princess. It seems to have some really unusual properties. I was wondering if I could run a few tests on it with your kit here, see if we can work out what the deal is with it.
Oh, yeah, by all means, go right ahead.
Oh, before I do, are these the anti-magic pulse miniaturization versions that you've done there?
Yes. They will. They're still, like I said, they're still in development. We're still finalizing the data and making the containers for them, but they will be ready uh, in a few days. And by the time they'll be ready by the time we get to the kingdom.
Okay, yeah, fascinating. I'll have a chat with you about them later. I'm just wondering if have you seen my deployment system? I was just wondering if I could use them with. Well, I'll one thing at a time. I'm getting distracted by shiny things, literal shiny things. I'll check the spear up, but I'll talk to you about it later.
Uh, she gives you a nice little hearty chuckle, and she goes, "You never change."
I smile slightly, and I say I am slightly more responsible now. I'm trying to help.
I hope so. But yes, absolutely. Go right ahead and use some of the machines that you need to work on your the spear.
So yeah, we take the spear up to something that, let's say, it resembles I don't know, kind of like a lathe kind of thing. We managed to sort of fit the spear into it and attach various bits to it, and then clip cables and wires and things onto it. And I sort of get carried away pressing buttons, and beeping happens, and lights flash, and
Does grouping
So
happen too?
I mean, there's always booping. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Um,
What are you looking for as you're analyzing
So we
Ferret's spear?
previously noticed its ability to successfully target something that had previously been marked with Hunter's Mark. So I'm wondering if there's any other um, quirks that it has to do with combining sort of magical type effects with its physical effects. Maybe if Ferret does any sort of other kind of combo with it, if it would trigger something else to happen.
Okay.
Um,
Um.
I might help with that a bit. Like
Okay.
I press my hand against the blade to see if it interacts with me or if it just passes through.
I feel like between the three of us, we have Barris, who has quite a lot of arcane knowledge here, Crow with a lot of knowledge of weaponry, and me with the knowledge of combining those two things. I think as a team, we're probably quite good
Okay.
at this.
So you will choose. So you can choose one of two things first. Either you do a physical inspection of the weapon, or you can do a magical inspection of the weapon.
I think magical.
I guess we're doing this as a team, so yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
Yeah,
think,
sure.
Barris, Crow? Magical? Or I mean, I wonder if are we making it too complicated? Is it just that it could have some interesting physical property? But yes, magic. Well, hang on, let me. Yeah, I feel like I'd probably go for the more complicated option here. Yeah, we'll investigate the magical side of it.
Okay. In that case, Bread, I want you to make an Arcana check with advantage because Barris is here.
Go on, share those 20s, Barris.
19. So, the basic stuff first. The spear is definitely enchanted with various different magics. A lot of it seems to be kind of locked away in a sense, like the power that this spear has had has been sealed, and over time through like Ferret's use and things of that nature, it's the seals that have been placed on it have weakened, and certain conditions that are meet or that the when certain conditions are met, certain aspects of the spear will be unlocked. Like you said, the um if if a ferret throws her spear at a target that she has used Hunter's Mark on, it'll automatically hit. Uh, uh she can still so as far as rules go, and I'm going to put this in the D&D Beyond. As far as rules go, that means if she will automatically hit regardless. Fair, you can still roll when you make that attack, just in case if you crit on a natural 20. But that's the only thing you'll be rolling for is that crit.
Ooh.
Yes. Damage will be the same, or anything added onto it, such as your Colossus Slayer or saying Searing Smite, that things that you have there that will deal additional damage or anything of that nature will remain unchanged. With a 19, there is one other magical effect on this weapon, but it is locked and you cannot ascertain what this effect is.
Are we able to ascertain anything about how it might be triggered, even if we don't know what it would do?
Go ahead and give me another Arcana check. This time, if
I feel if this is an heirloom, Barros being older might have seen it previously, so his knowledge might be useful.
yes, but Barris also lost majority of his memory
Yeah.
in the past. So I'm gonna say give me an Arcana check base. No advantage on this one. 17. It's hard to say. It's the magical signature of this effects kind of just all seems so jumbled up. It's kind of hard to tell. Um, at least magically. Uh, though the common sense side of you says that physically it probably has something to do with the physical nature of the spear rather than the magical nature of the spear.
Is that
Um,
something we can investigate as well, or are we sort of using up all of our lab time here?
um, I will allow one more roll, and if Crow helps, I will allow you roll a perception with uh perception? No, investigation. I think.
Investigation for me?
No, hold on, give me a second. Let me
Oh,
make sure I'm saying I'm choosing this right. Um, let's go with a investigation roll, bread for you. Investigation roll with advantage because Crow is here. If Crow decides to help.
Okay, I
no, I
say,
ignore him. No, I'm joking. Obviously, I have to.
I say, hey, Crow. I mean, you're the weapons expert here. And anything that you can see here that might shed some light on it?
Hold on, let me have a look at that.
22. So a 22. You look over this thing once, twice, three times, looking for something kind of just out of place, and it hits you. This is a weapon that was made in Chaosity, with the same metal and properties from Chaosity. This spear, though magical in nature, also is, in a way, anti-magical, but in a means that it kind of negates certain magical effects. This spear is able to bypass uh certain spells meant for uh like defensive capabilities, as if it would pierce the shield, if you would. Uh and mechanics wise, meaning that any self self-induced spells such as uh globe of invulnerability or uh mirror image or anything of that nature that would make it difficult to hit a target from the outside or as a defensive spell, it would bypass those spells and hit its mark in a normal fashion. It is
I was going to say, I look at Crow nodding, kind of very impressed. Like, if you thought about getting into artificering?
No, not particularly. No. I'm more tending towards using the weapons and making them.
Fair. But yeah, I nod with significant approval.
Mhm.
Well, glad I can help.
I think that's going to come in very helpful. I'm sure the princess will be very impressed with what you've discovered here.
Well, we'll see.
Well, with that,
Just for the sake of knowledge transfer, shall we say that I managed to generate a report from this analysis workstation that we can then pass on to the princess when we see her, so she knows what we've just discovered there.
okay, fair enough. With that though, we've done Ferret, Banjax. I need to see you just messaged me, but is there anything you would like to do, Sarah, as well?
I've made my choice.
Okay. Um. Okay, let's ask this: where would you be currently?
I would think you know.
We have a rough idea, but um, but yes, okay, understood. I don't think I don't need to ask where you are. I'm just gonna leave that at that.
Keep them guessing.
Yes, obviously. Um, so for at least the rest of the day, if no one wants to do anything else, we'll wrap up the day. Everyone gets their long rest in if they haven't already since the combat session, and move on to the next day. And people have, well, meetings to attend, people to talk to.
If we're moving on first, can I just go back to the fact that I've like been sat drinking with Ruby and roll this?
Oh,
Okay.
check.
Okay.
Vertical, not horizontal, I'd say then.
Yeah, solidly tipsy. Ferret ended up solidly
Just-
tipsy.
Nicely drunk.
Chatting away to Ruby yesterday.
Yes, yes.
I mean, just checking for the fanfic writers. Do you need to do a charisma check or anything?
No.
Come
We're
on.
just having a nice, girly catch up.
Cool.
Seduce her like a drawbridge ferret.
Oh my god. Just so everyone's aware, I did make a roll for Ruby just now, so.
What? What kind of
What?
roll? What?
Don't mind me.
What are you rolling? Oh my god.
Well, I say Ferret X Ruby. Maybe it's Ruby X Ferret.
Oh my god.
But let's just say that she's not very flattering when she's drunk.
Oh.
Oh no! What? I should have done that charisma check. Right. Can I do it now? Fuck it, I'm going for it. That ain't bad.
Did better than Ruby.
I hope I ruined this moment. Sorry.
It's-
What are you doing? What are you planning?
Nothing.
It's so suspicious.
I
Uh,
assure you, I'm actually planning nothing, and I'm doing more or less stuff.
doing more or less
Mhm.
the same. Um,
Yeah.
but yes, so you end up spending the night talking with Ruby and drinking some very fine wine that, to be honest, I completely forgot you had from the second
Yeah.
session.
I didn't.
Uh,
I've been planning to drink it.
Clearly.
Clearly. I believe it was some to answer George's question. I believe it was some like fancy elven wine,
Yes, it was.
very expensive.
I imagine white wine.
Yes,
Not a fan of
probably.
red.
I'm not a fan of any wine, but oh well.
I'm imagining like a
Like mad.
blue version of rosé.
Okay. But yeah. So we But is there anything else before we move on to the next day
Nope.
and have meetings for everyone to or for people to attend? Um, very well. We're going to start with. Hold on.
Holding on.
Numpty, are you still
In
hanging
my
around?
sleeping. Yeah, I'm in my sleeping quarters.
Okay.
So yes.
You hear a knock on your door,
Oh.
and a familiar voice, uh, kind of just like through the solid, uh.
To be clear, I am still hanging around.
Okay, cool. But you hear a very like a knock at your door, and a very familiar voice just simply like, Numpty, are you still in there?"
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
it You recognize this voice to be Tia's voice.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, whether you want to converse with her or not is completely up to you. Do you wish to open the door?
Sure.
Um,
I prefer to describe it as like I walk down, but yeah.
um, yeah. So you walk down. Are you still hanging around when you answer the door? Or are you kind of just normal?
Hmm? Ask that again.
Are you hanging around when you answer the door? Or are you still normal? Or you go back to normal?
I'll stay hanging if
Okay.
that's how we're doing this.
And see, you open the door, and Tia is introduced with a inverted numpty, just 180 degrees, completely just the wrong direction. She looks completely shocked, like, what is going on here? Um, she she goes,
Numpty mutters under his breath. MJ? Exactly. Um.
there was no audible face palm, but there was one.
Okay.
Okay. Um,
You love it.
but Tia looks at you and like just in utter confusion because you are upside down
Mhm.
and just
I start to look a little disappointed. Like, you just don't get me, do you?
I I really don't. I wanted to ask you some questions about it. Well, if you would wanted to answer them about my family and your history.
Okay.
If you don't, that's completely fine. Uh, Maybe another time.
Okay. He's kind of getting distracted now, looking at corners and things.
She hold on. I'm gonna make a roll here. She goes, uh, another time. I'll bother you another time then. And she kind of like
Bother me?
she starts to walk off. It almost looks like slightly disappointed.
Wait. You're not bothering me.
I'm not.
No.
Hmm. I okay. Well, I was hoping to ask how you know my family.
I don't know your family. Hazel does.
Aren't you two the same? Like, aren't you
You're
two the
making
same?
some weird assumptions, lady.
Uh, uh, I'm sorry. Um,
You want to talk
i-
to Hazel, don't you?
if can I talk to Hazel?
Depends. You have to get him out.
Okay. How do I get him out?
Mm, they could try slapping.
I Are you sure?
Oh no, this will be faster. And then he'll just like relax his feet so that the slippers kind of come loose. And he'll just fall into the ground in front of her.
With a fairly loud and audible thud to the ground, and this is heard fairly. uh, I'm assuming I would assume everyone's in their own quarters, in their own in their own rooms, which are nearby, unless you guys are elsewhere. But anyone that is still like within like the, I would call it the crew quarters, hears a loud audible thud outside their rooms. Just and yeah. Um,
What's going on over here?
Yeah, is this happening in the corridor then?
yeah, pretty much. Um, but the question is, does Hazel come out with that?
Well, if she is looking down, she'll just see like a very annoyed face. It's like, I hate him. I hate him. He's supposed to stop this from happening.
Uh, um, but she looks at you and goes, uh,
He's
Hazel.
reluctant. He's reluctant to get up off the floor, but yeah, he'll look very kind of. Yes.
I wanted to ask you a question about my family and
The
num.
Dundales.
Yes, I wanted to know how you know my family. And just you look at her, you know, like, so she's like the youngest, uh, like obviously she's like a newborn, like she was essentially a child, but uh before like you, this she was not born before you ended up uh leaving, and they kind of just not dealing with the Dundales before, so
Who are your
you.
parents? Your mother and father. What's their name?
Un momento, por favor.
Base. I'm just trying to determine if it's the next generation or not. I imagine it would be given like how old I
No,
am.
no, yeah, no. If you're determining that, even yes, it's the next generation. Um, would be based off of how old Numpty and Hazel are.
So I imagine like this is the
The
daughter of
granddaughter
grand
of
granddaughter.
daughter of. I'm sorry. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
I had to think for a second. Ooh,
Okay. Daughter of a sibling.
yes.
All right.
But
Well,
she simply just wants to know if you're willing to share the information, like on how you know her family. She states again, going, "If you don't wish to talk, it's completely fine. I won't bother you about it."
That crazy little bastard brought me here, so I might as well. I knew your aunt and your grandparents think I killed her. Is that what you want to hear? I assure you they're wrong,
Uh, so
but I don't know how wrong. It's
if
not a memory I like. I know anymore.
give me a second. I'm gonna make another roll here. She looks at you kind of like not like in a awkward or like malicious manner, but she kind of looks at you like she doesn't know what to believe. So she looks at you and goes, I mean, it confirms the stories that I've been told, but you, well, as Numpty, looked harmless enough, so I had to question it.
Numpty, harmless.
What a joke.
I'm sorry,
Um,
did you see his suicidal fireballs?
Are you guys just peeking your heads out into the garden toward just
Yeah,
going
we
for
all
the
I mean, yeah,
Yes.
we're like
looked.
Yep.
eavesdropping.
Yeah, of course.
Tia looks around and goes, wait, when did all you get here?
I just take a big sip of coffee out of the world's greatest bread mug and raise my eyebrows.
Apparently,
Uh,
they're my friends.
uh, she looks, she goes, I'm sorry, um, but if you didn't kill, um, who did? Did you not know? Do you not remember?
I do not remember. No, and I'd rather. Well,
That's
I don't know for sure. I
that's
have my suspicions, and it's fucked up my life. So
that's
I
fine. I don't mean
Fine.
to dig up old wounds, but thank you. I believe you.
mm,
I I'm just trying to seek answers for my family's past. Um, she she kind of like looks around. You kind of see everyone kind of sees the look on her face, kind of just slightly disgruntled and like was hoping to get more answers than what she got, and she kind of just quickly takes off.
as she's leaving, he's gonna say one last thing. It was probably the Margraves.
Uh, you uh, give me a perception check.
Do I have to? I really don't think Hazel would be trying to be overly perceptive right now.
Um, anyone that wants to give me a perception check can. That's here.
That works. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Um,
18.
and so Ferret's the only one that notices it, or Bread's also rolling a perception check.
Right.
You have advantage on sight and sound, right?
Oh, that's true, actually. Shall I
Give
just
me,
roll a
give me.
second one?
Yes, this is sound related. Nice. So Ferret and Bread, because you guys are out there kind of just like watching this whole thing go down. The moment he mentions the Margraves, you like there's a steady pace to how fast she's walking. She stops for like a second and then just keeps going. She obviously heard that and she like knows something like that really that name and Banjax or I'm sorry, Numpty mentioning the Margraves really
Hazel.
kind of like or Hazel in this case now um definitely kind of like hit her in some way. With that though, we can move on to any other meetings. Ferret and Bread, I know you two have some.
Just
There's
before we
actually
finish
there-
that up, I make eye contact with Ferret and sort of raise an eyebrow quizzically.
Yeah, I feel there's a bit more to resolve here, because like Hazel's still like lying on the ground, not really looking at anything, just kind of reluctantly accepting the position Numpty's put him in, and he's just like, "Well, do you guys have questions for me before?"
At this point, do we know that this is Hazel rather than Numpty, or did that bit happen before
We're
we
talking about very
came out?
different speech tone
Like,
and
yeah, he's
I'm sure we'd
talking.
notice.
expressions.
As in, would
He's
we know the name at this point, or is it just it's clear to us that this is someone else, or can I kind of go up and go, Hazel, nice to meet you?
I would say you heard Tia say Hazel.
Oh, okay.
So you would assume you knew this name, though I don't know unless Numpty or Hazel has made an appearance like off camera, essentially. To any of you guys, I would say you guys don't know who Hazel is. You just know the name.
Would I make any sort of connection between this and when Numpty, in quotes now, threw me over his shoulder a short while back when he seemed to be acting a little bit out of
Give
the
me,
I
give me
say
an.
out of the ordinary.
I
You
said,
know,
give me an investigation. Yeah, give me an investigation check, and I would say at a disadvantage. No, you would not be able to ascertain that
I
the
don't make
the
that connection. Okay.
yeah, you don't make that connection.
Would you like a repeat of like the little slogan that he said last time?
Sure.
Yeah, there was the "I am me, named a tree. That's what's said in my family."
Oh yeah, that. Huh.
Um,
Can I wander over, offer my hand to, sort of help him up if he wants to take it and be like, hello, nice to meet you, sir.
Hello. Nice to meet you, I guess. Sorry, I'm adjusting.
What happened?
Oh,
Was
Crow's here
Crow
now.
here now?
Crow's here now.
I finally decide to open the door.
yawning slightly.
Oh, don't
Like-
worry about it. Go to bed.
No,
Kind of
this
sarcastically.
oh, this intrigues me. What's going on? What's all the ruckus about?
I'll let you two tell him. I'm just gonna lie here.
I sort of turn to Crow and sort of mouth quietly like it's Numpty, but it's not someone called Hazel.
What's going on, Numpty? Or not Numpty? Whoever you are.
Oh, Numpty's not here right now. The
Um,
fucker. I
What?
apologize if he's been complicating things for you. I'm not overly aware, but I have a vague recollection of what's happened since the last time I was here, and I believe I threw the bear over my shoulder. Sorry about that, by the way.
I s- s- having a look like I'm trying to sort of process this and make connections, and I sort of just go, oh, no, it's fine, don't worry about it.
Why did you throw him over your shoulder?
He touched me.
That you're not wrong.
Okay, I retract my hand from offering him help now.
Very, very blank faced. Appreciate that. In response to the hand retraction.
Yeah.
So, any more questions?
Why are you different from Numpty?
Yeah, what's going on there? Like, help us to understand.
That's
Are
a
you?
big question for later.
Okay.
Won't we even be able to talk to you later?
Maybe. If Numpty fucks up again.
What do you mean,
Little,
fuck up?
little tinge of anger in his voice. Like,
Hazel, is it? Are you
Yeah.
traveling with Numpty, or is Numpty traveling with you?
Good question.
I suppose, strictly speaking, if you want to phrase it like that, he's traveling with me. But I'm leaving him in charge because I am done. Done. Don't want to be here. Don't want to be here. Don't want to be here. And he starts getting more rambly, and then but like in an instant, he's kind of like after doing like a reverse push up and immediate spin around so that he's in a proper push up position, and he just like sort of springs up, lets himself fall down into the ground head first,
Oh my
and then
god.
silence.
What
Oh,
the fuck?
Uh, Hazel, you okay?
I hesitantly say, Numpty? And look at him to try and ascertain if he's out cold or just laying there and not moving.
permission to sound like a DM.
Sure, if you may.
Investigation check.
Visual with advantage?
I guess. Our medicine.
That's a natural 20.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
Oh.
he knocked the fuck out, man. It don't matter if he's Hazel or Numpty, he's unconscious.
Oh god. Okay.
All right.
Numpty is out cold.
Like
Um,
just
I-
inside his cabin doorway.
Yep, he is out
I-
cold
God.
and just.
As soon as I thought that he wasn't gonna be crazier, even when he speaks like he's normal for a second, this shit happens. What the hell?
Does
If I
someone
was
maybe
conscious,
want
I'd take
yeah,
exception to that.
to? Does someone
I
maybe want to
look at
pick him up and like
I was going
put
to
him
say I
somewhere
look at the
comfier?
others and say I think he's out cold, and I being the big one, I pick him up. Do you think I should take him to? There'll be a medical bay on here. Shall I take him over there, or should we just leave him in his bed and have someone keep an eye on him?
I think the med bay may be the best idea.
Probably. Maybe he has a concussion.
Yeah, just to check
Yeah.
him over. We've got an important battle ahead, so probably best that
Better not
we're all
risk it.
in
Yeah.
good shape.
Yeah, I'd like to take him to get checked out by. I mean, it's an academy vessel, so I'm sure there's plenty of people with medical training. So I'd like to go to the medical bay and drop him off with them.
Sounds like medical professionals could provide a better answer than Hazel's willing to. Hint, hint, goat man.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. But yes, no. So yeah, you can take him to the medical bay, and drop him off.
Apologies if that scene took longer than you were expecting.
No, that honestly that kind of fit into what I expected. So good job.
You too, man.
um, but yeah, so you guys drop him off at the medical bay. Numpty, you're still unconscious for the time being. With that though, the other meetings for everyone else. Who
Mhm.
wants to do theirs first?
Can I just say, when we drop him off, we brief the medics on what we've just seen, so they maybe know where to start looking.
Okay, yeah, that can. I can. You brief them and they give you uh a nod and a thumbs up, and they will do what they can to see if they find anything on with the instruments and medicine that they have.
Okay, I say I'll probably have to go to a meeting, but you can get me on the intercom.
Uh, they give you a nod and go, uh, of course, and they kind of start like giving they start doing like a general checklist over Numpty and seeing like what they can do and figure whatever else they can out. So, with that though, who would like to do their initial meeting first? So I know Ferret and Bread, you both want to meet with Etwell. Uh, I don't know if Barris or Crow. I don't know if you guys want to do anything in specific before uh, going to uh, or before landing in back in the kingdom.
Yeah,
Guess I'll
I do.
finally complete the meme and actually go to bed.
Oh my god.
At least he'll be well rested.
Exactly.
Yes,
Saving my
yes.
power.
True. True.
Yeah, so I do wanna do something, but I can go after Ferret and Breath.
Okay.
Okay. I can go first.
Please go ahead.
Okay. So, Ferret, Bread, both of you kind of like head your way to Etwell's like quarters and stuff like that to see if she's there. And there's a guard outside. Uh, they both. He looks at both of you. Goes, "Would you like to go in at the same time or privately?" I know
Uh,
she wants to speak to both of you.
Uh,
I look across at the princess.
I privately. I mean, she whispered to me, so I assume.
Very well. She,
Yeah, I say, well, after you. If there's anything we need to discuss together as a three, you could call me in.
Exactly. Exactly.
okay. She the guard kind of like steps aside and goes. He gives the door a knock. Um, you just hear Etoile let her in, and uh, he opens the door, and you walk through, and he ends up closing it behind you. You see Etoile kind of just looking out what of the wind, looking out the window, fairly large window, um, just as the ship flies over the skies. Uh, she turns to you and goes, Princess Ferret, when we land the shores of your kingdom, I want you to attend a meeting with the other world leaders that you have gathered for this war.
Ah, of course, that would be a wise decision.
I will go ahead and warn you, though, this will not be a friendly meeting. It will be a fairly, what I would imagine, which will be a heated discussion on your essentially the position of and seat of power that you will be on. I am not at liberty to say currently without without the others here, but I wanted to give you a heads up.
Ah, I see. Thank you for letting me know this ahead of time.
Yes, and I'm sorry to keep this. I'm sorry to have this as brief and short, but I will say a word of advice. If you're borrowing ideals and uh, if you're borrowing ideals and morals from other leaders, don't. You need to be your own ruler and do what you believe is right for your own kingdom.
Don't worry about me. I have always done what is right for Chaosity.
Yes, but the world doesn't look at it the same way. Chaosity has been well, lives up to its own name in being chaotic. One ruler you've had was absolutely insane for power, and the other, well, your father, really, is too scared of progression. There needs to be a balance, but again, have to be a conversation for the other world leaders to ask you and discuss at another time. Just keep in mind, be willing to die for your own morals and your own ideals as if you were their queen, because one day you will be.
I see. I see. You say the stuff about Chaosity as though every other kingdom doesn't have its own terrible pasts, but
We,
I take on what you're saying. I take what you're saying on board.
well, I do. I mean no disrespect or any harm in what I say. We all have had our troubles. Um, Hell, even my nation has had its own troubles, but we progressed and we moved on. We adapted and saw through. Chaosity almost, at least from my experience, is at a, uh, I'd say, standstill. Neither progressing nor backtracking.
Well, we've barely had the time to.
This is true. Maybe you can be that change.
I
But
certainly intend to be.
I look forward to seeing what you say during that meeting, though. Um, but fair warning, if because only one of the oracles and the Queen of Grettenborough are going to be there, as well as I. And if they are sending who I think they are from the council, the oracle that will be there will be fairly aggressive.
Oh, lovely.
So stick to your guns. Stick to your ideals. But tread carefully, because losing allies at this crucial moment is not something that would be advised.
Thank you for your warning.
Not a problem. Do you have any questions for me?
Not currently, no.
Very well. If you can you send my brother in here so I can show him how these devices work? As you see her pull like a small little chest out and has one of the devices that she was developing in it.
Of course. Of course I can do that. I start to leave the room, and as I sort of step out the door to see Bread, I have a sudden realization that I'm not wearing my shoes. I'm wearing Ruby's shoes. And I look very confused for a second. And I say,
Oh my.
for God's sakes! Um,
Good for you, princess.
I have a sudden realization that, oh yeah, I wasn't wearing any shoes last night, so I stole Ruby's when she wasn't looking. While she was drunk.
Um, I did a perception check there, rolled 12. Can I say that I noticed this but draw the wrong conclusion?
No.
And raise my eyebrow while sipping more coffee.
Oh, can I have a shovel to dig myself out of this hole?
I will allow Bread the ability to notice, but conclude the wrong assumption.
I kind of like give you a thumbs up and wink.
I just
I mean, this might be the last night before she dies, so
Yeah,
wow.
good on her. Good on her.
I just sort of tell Brad that his sister wants to see him now and just run away. Embarrassed.
you run off with a very bright red slip, essentially what are bright red slip-ons, just hauling down the hallway, with the door open. The guard that was standing there, looking very, very confused, looks at you, Brad, and goes, "After you, sir."
I head in and sort of smiling to myself slightly, and hey, morning.
Good morning. I believe you are hoping to see this, and she kind of spins the small chest around with the device sitting into it.
Ooh, can I reach out to pick it up?
You reach out and to like pick it up, and she kind of just closes the uh like without like snapping your fingers, but like in the chest, but she closes it right before you like are able to get that far or close to it. She goes, "First, I need to know exactly why you also want these. Is it purely for stopping Ferret's sister and there is no alternative motive for these things.
I thought that based on the encounters we've had so far, something like this would be valuable to us. I mean, that's why I started sketching the prototype together. But no ulterior motive. I I know you. I have changed.
No, I know you have. My concern is that a nation known for its prejudice against or prejudice against magic in general, and you come back asking for an anti-magical weapon. I really don't want to upset the balance of power between the nations in the world and give, well, Ferret's kingdom too much leverage. I see. I hope you. Do you see
If
where I'm coming from?
if we do not use it for the intended purpose, I will destroy or return it to you, them to you. You're right. It is a powerful weapon that could destabilize the balance. I do trust the princess, though. We've travelled together for quite a while now, and well, she is of Chaosity. She's a ferret. She is chaotic. And well, you saw what happened with the tea, although that was kind of my fault. But she's a good person.
I don't doubt that. It's the people that come after. I trust you.
Well,
You done?
I was going to say, I mean, I have no right to ask this of you, but if you trust me, then um, I will make sure that the right thing happens with them.
You see her give a kind of. She looks down at the chest. Kind of see a kind of like look of pondering. Um, and she kind of just grabs the chest and she opens it back up. She goes, "I'm trusting you with at least this one. The second one will be done by the time we get there. They are essentially grenades with an area of effect that will disrupt the magic within that moment. Um,
I
and
hear. Sorry.
she looks at it. She goes, um, "You have to target the source of the magic, not the magic itself. So if you want to shut down, say, a fog spell, you have to target the caster, not the fog."
I nod thoughtfully.
Um, she goes, "Like I said, I trust you, but don't make me regret giving you these."
I I look up and look her in the eye and say, I, I am sorry. I I am less reckless now.
She gives a little slight smile and she looks at you. She goes, I know. If you weren't, something probably would have blown up by now. She gives a little slight smile and a slight little chuckle. She goes, I'm sorry.
I sort of look like I'm sweating uncomfortably.
She goes like, ill-mannered joke. It's in the past, and you've done well.
I sort of nod gently to myself.
She closes the chest. She spins it back around. She slides it to you. She goes, take it, and we'll be landing in the kingdom in shortly. I would advise, not shortly, but a few days. Um, I would advise either having Ferret, yourself, or someone from your group to send out the messages to the other your other allies to meet us there, so we can prepare our war parties.
Understood. I'll relay that. I'll make you proud of me.
I've no doubt you will.
Can I ask you a few questions just before I leave?
She looks. She goes, yeah. What's up?
Well, regarding these, and I sort of gesture at the chest. What is? I know that they're only prototypes, but do you have any idea of the effect of direct exposure to them, or sustained direct exposure, or
No, no test of that yet. I haven't been able to have the machine have run continuously for more than a second. So,
theoretical ingestion? I'm just trying to know how careful we need to be.
let me roll a check here. She looks at you and goes, too many theories, not enough data.
Would you say this is perhaps not a time for YOLO?
No. Be careful with these.
I nod. Also, the I hope you found our tactics and initiative interesting when you observed us during the test. I appreciate you running the simulation for us to give us some time to practice tactics. I'm interested to know where your intelligence comes from. How likely is it that we'll be facing something similar to in the simulation? Do you know that is the kind of response we'd expect from Cordelia?
Honestly, I have no idea. War is unpredictable, and for all I know, she very well might just let you guys walk up right up to her. 'Cause she's, from what I've understand, she's extremely um, well, I would say overconfident, but I firmly believe that she thinks she could easily take you all on her own. But for the all intents and purposes, the simulation was simply that for use of testing, stopping the magics and things of that nature that were sitting there. Um, I do hope that though, things go as easy as you guys made it seem to be.
I smile and say, "Hey, we've got that team synergy, the power of friendship,"
Mm.
and
Gross.
do a cheesy grin.
Yuck, yuck,
Ugh.
yuck.
Ugh.
No,
She
no,
she 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 gives you she just shakes her head and she goes, "That's all fine and good, but just don't die."
I'll try.
She goes, "Well, I have other matters to attend to," and she kind of motions towards like a pile of papers on her desk. She goes, but she goes, like I said, I have things I have to attend to, and and she goes, "I'll talk to you later, okay?"
Okay. I guess this is the downside of being in charge: more paperwork and less engineering.
She lets out a sigh, goes, "Yeah, I
Um,
don't get to have fun like I used to."
hey, we could do something fun together after all this is done.
How old you do that?
Definitely.
You end up leaving, shortly after the conversation, like picking up the chest and taking it with you. Um, and then, is there anything else you would like to do before we move on?
Can I assume I haven't heard anything back from the medics. Can I pop down and check how things are going with Numpty/Hazel?
You pop down there and you kind of like peek your head through like some of the doorway and the windows there, and you kind of see they're all like Numpty looks like he's still unconscious because it hasn't been that long. Um, but you see a lot of doctors like you have see like one or two doctors standing around him, and one or two doctors like looks like they're um like flipping through some pages of some medical books and things of that nature. Kind of just it looks like they're still trying to figure something out.
Okay, I don't disturb them then if they're deep in thought in work. I look down at my mug, realize I'm out of coffee, and decide to head over to the mess hall to get a refill, and hopefully, I think, bump into the princess in the hope that maybe she'll give me some interesting gossip from what happened last night in my misunderstanding.
Uh,
Where is Ferret right now? That's
ooh, wherever Ruby is, handing her
Oh,
shoes back
yeah,
to her.
well, yeah. Mm.
Oh yeah. It's
uh
only
I can
sister
imagine
dog.
us having a conversation at entire cross purposes, completely misunderstanding. You
yeah.
keep trying to sort of smooth things out, and like I keep taking it as it's actually
Yeah.
like a euphemism.
It's one of those. Yeah.
Well, Ruby is so you're in Ruby's room right now, giving back her shoes.
Oh god, that's not going to do anything for the rumors.
Is
um.
that the only thing she's given her?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. So, Barris, you wanted to do something as well.
Yes.
Okay. So, what would you like to do, sir?
So I am meditating in my room. I am thinking back to the events that happened lately and how they feel familiar, how they feel similar to memories I seem to be missing.
Okay.
So I
Give me give me a history check to see how deep you go here. That is a big modifier to your history. I
yeah.
really should look at your character sheet. Um, but yeah, 23. So, uh, you as you're meditating, you start to like think and feel the energies like that you ended up using during that last fight. The massive spell you cast at the very beginning. Um, albeit an illusion, but summoning the red dragon, though it, like I said, it was only an illusion. uh, uh, fighting another spell user of felt like of equal caliber, and just various other things throughout that fight, and you kind of feel this familiarity of your essentially what was your living self, um, as you uh, remember uh, some of the old war that you uh, ended up fighting in the studies that you did and the spells that you transcribed. You feel this like sickening madness like start to fill your senses, and I need you to make a what would be a good one? Give me a I'm gonna go with a wisdom saving throw.
Oops.
9.
Well
Oh,
then.
a nat
Oh
1.
no, Paris!
You all these memories start flooding into your head. The absolute chaos that you plunged Chaosity into, the magic and testing that you did on innocent subjects, all these absolutely horrendous like spells that you created for just the sake of creating spells start flooding into your mind, and you cannot stop it. Um, you uh, excuse me, you you sit there trying to are you let me ask this, are you trying to fight these memories that are flooding in?
No.
No. Okay. Um, you hear as more and more of this stuff, like you hear the anguished cries of the dead, the of people that you essentially you have killed, souls that you have trapped during your reign, uh and these, like I said, these horrible and like, inhumane experiments that you did on people and prisoners of war, just uh and you kind of just sit there almost as if what remains of what is your ghostly form, your body essentially, as you kind of just float there above the ground, or however position you are, whether you're like sitting down or just standing up, or whatever position you're in, you kind of just float there, uh, and this pain and absolute just maddening and sickening thing, these feelings and memories, um, you want to escape. You want to leave. You just whether take that for interpretation as you will, whether it be leave your current area, your spot, um, leave the mental state, whatever, take it as you will, but you just want to leave. You want the you want the voices to at the very least stop because you hear all these voices of the dead. There are thousands upon thousands of voices, um, essentially cursing your name as king.
Wow. Oh wow.
Yeah, you
So
dick.
You fucking twat.
Oh my god.
I wish we were in
Princess, this is why
Tailspire
it,
just so I can magic missile you.
Yeah. God damn
Princess,
it.
I think we know why Etwell wasn't particularly keen on maybe sharing the AMPs with your people.
Maybe.
Hmm. Yeah, so I have to choose how do I escape, right?
Yes.
So I fly up. I fly up as fast as I can. I float right straight through the deck and just fly straight up.
Okay. So you begin to just go through floor after floor, going straight up. Let me make a roll here real quick.
I just imagine him like flying through somebody who's sitting at the toilet at that moment in time, like, oh shit! What was that?
um, yeah.
Floats through
So
Ruby's room as Ferret's there returning the shoes.
For God's sake.
The oh shit was pun intended, by the way.
lovely. But no. You start flying through floor after floor. And eventually you get to the deck of the ship. Um, do you continue to fly up off the deck of the ship, or do you kind of just stop?
Continue flying up.
Bye.
So you continue flying up, and like because your form is no longer attached to something physical, the ship is gone as you continue to fly up. Um,
So bye, I
give
guess.
get give me give me another wisdom saving throw. Well, yes, give me another wisdom saving throw.
Okay. Right.
Okay, that is much better. um,
Oh,
uh,
shit.
as the ship starts to like not to say disappear from sight, but like the moment your ethereal form, your ghostly form, essentially detaches from the physical nature of the ship and it starts to fly away, you snap back to reality.
There
You
goes gravity.
yeah, and there's no, you're floating.
Spaghetti.
No, gravity's still a thing, but at the same time, you're a ghost, so gravity doesn't apply to you. Um, but you see the ship start to get away from you.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the last part? Banjax distracted me. What the fuck are you talking about, Banjax?
What?
I can't read that, but at the same
It
time,
doesn't need
That's
to
in
make
Polish,
sense.
but it doesn't make it any better.
I just put it to translate, and I'm like, huh? What? Seagulls?
Yes.
Stop it now.
I'm curious what Barris's direct translation of it is.
I hope you have a lot of seagulls inside you.
That's more or less the gist of it, yeah.
okay, well, but yeah, no. So, as you fly up, your ethereal form, your ghostly form, is no longer anchored to the ship. So once you had separated and the ship starts to fly off, you regain your sanity, and you see it starting to like the ship starting to get away from you. Um,
Okay. I cast a dimension door to teleport back on the ship.
okay, cool. So you cast Dimension Door, and you are back on the ship. Or back in your quarters, back on the deck. Where?
Um, just in the middle of the deck.
No, the deck. Still up on top, where you're just the ship where you can see the sky and everything of that
Yes,
nature.
yes, yes.
But yes. But yes, you end up there, and you kind of just, as you are now standing back or floating back on the deck, you look up at the sky, and you see um but well you personally kind of like you see the clouds and everything, and they almost like look like images of like, like of faces kind of just staring at you. um
Mostly seagulls.
um of the clouds that look a lot like faces just staring back at you, as you kind of just float there on the deck. um you have your memories of what basically what you have done, maybe not to like 100% extent of your past life, but you definitely remember that
You
what
ain't a
you
good dude.
yeah, you were never a good person, and you did some horrible things.
Oh well,
Giggles, sorry.
at least I remember now.
Hmm. uh is there anything else you would like to do in this moment, sir?
No, I just stay there looking at the stars for the rest of the night.
Okay. Okay. um All right. Is there anything, or Crow? Is there anything you would like to do as well, during this day? Any like meetups or anything you would like to do?
Just sleep it through, you know, conserve my strength. Not go through like an emotional episode like everybody else. That seems like a good time.
You're missing out on all the fun.
He's like, yeah, I need to avoid some emotional BS right now. I'm gonna stay in
Exactly.
bed. I'm gonna
I
stay in
mean,
bed.
he
And
had
emotional
pretty
stability before.
emotional start of the episode.
True.
Wow.
I'm just recovering from that, basically.
He, yeah, fair. Um, but though, so you don't leave your room at all. Uh,
Nope.
Nope. Okay. So you stay in your room and all that nature. Um, and so we will
So
skip
get
ahead.
notified or something of anything. Nope.
No, you get notified of nothing. Though, actually, give me a perception check real quick, Crow.
I will give you some perception check.
While he's napping? Is he perceiving?
Yes.
He,
I'm resting. I'm not necessarily napping the whole time, you know?
He sleeps with one eye open.
Exactly.
Oh,
he,
creepy.
he is a rogue. So 25.
Okay.
Mhm.
You did hear quite a bit of footsteps and like someone stop in front of your door, but no one knocked, no one said anything, and like they stopped in front of your door and then like promptly like left like 30 seconds later. But other than that, like someone came to your door and did nothing and walked away.
You missed out there, Crow.
Uh-huh.
Was it
uh,
one of yous pranking me?
I don't think it was one of us.
it
Mm-mm.
was not one of them.
Oh.
But
How familiar are you with the walk cycles of different creatures?
Mm.
Well, I guess there's a lot of bear people on this ship, so I wouldn't necessarily recognize Bread this time.
I feel like maybe maybe it's not a bear person,
Uh-huh.
but
But,
I don't know if you'd be able to differentiate that from the footsteps.
Yeah.
Probably they probably sound a bit heavier. Is it a bear person, Goatman?
I'm sure they probably sounded a bit lighter.
Bit lighter,
Perhaps like
yeah.
they were smaller.
Mm-hmm. Maybe stripier on the face.
Perhaps really young and short.
Doesn't ring a bell now.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Okay. Well, moving on, we're gonna fast forward to well, actually, a few questions before we move on completely. Bread, did you meet up with Ferret and tell her that she should, at least from information from your sister, that to tell Ferret about uh that she said to at least contact the other allies she has acquired?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, did I manage to get hold of her, or was she too busy with Ruby? How much time did you spend returning the shoes? I think that's what the cool kids call it these days.
I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea anymore.
How long did it take you to return those shoes, Ferret?
uh, like an hour. We had another little chat. You know.
I'd say that Bread, you were able to find her at some point during the day.
Okay, yeah. So I passed that on, and I I
You what? You what? Huh?
I suffer some internal turmoil as to whether I should discuss the other thing that came up in my conversation,
Oh.
and
I'm sure you were relaying the news, and Ferret's feeling awkward because she's like, "You got the wrong end of the stick earlier. Look, we were just drinking wine last night, and maybe we had a bit too much, and like, I don't know."
oh, hey, I mean, as long as you were both happy with it, it's all good. There's nothing wrong with having you have a bit to drink, and it's all good as long as everyone's happy.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, it's hey, it's good. It's good. We're going to have some stressful times coming up. So hey, if that's helped you relax, yeah.
Just messing about a little bit.
um. Yeah. So you relay the information, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Ferret, I'm assuming you attempt to contact the queen of Grettenborough and with his oracles about meeting
Mhm.
in on the shores of the kingdom.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Contact everyone.
You contact everyone.
Just to clarify, my internal dilemma wasn't necessarily about should I go for the potential innuendo there.
No,
It was
no, I know, I know.
yeah, like I decide that I won't mention what was said about is it safe for the do we need to worry about what might happen with these AMPs? So for the moment, at least, I haven't brought that up with Ferret.
Oof.
Okay.
Okay. I assume I also attempt to contact Ro to see if we can get him to give us some information on what's been happening inside of Chaosity while we've been gone,
Okay.
so we can go in prepared.
Okay. So you also make an attempt to contact Ro. I will make a note of that. Let me make a roll for these real quick. Okay. 2 and 3. Okay. So you guys. So we're gonna fast forward a bit. You guys are the first to arrive at a arranged meeting place. Um, and within the next few days, uh both the army belonging to Withia and the armies and the army for Grettenborough also arrive, uh and uh as things start to get fairly busy around, as more tents are pitched, uh uh you find eventually you guys will find yourselves in what I would call a city of tents. Uh, Various soldiers, mages, uh, clerics, paladins, basically anyone and everyone that that's able to fight or that was able to lend a hand has uh, arrived here in hopes to stop Cordelia from her from advancing her plot or any of that or anything of that nature to essentially keep the balance of power uh, in a stable aspect. Um, it is like uh, some places it is fairly loud, and things of and like in others it is fairly quiet as some people rest in tents, others are sharpening swords, blades, others are uh like, like flipping through their spell books and reciting spells. uh just all in all, everyone's getting ready for all of what is going to happen uh within the next few days. um uh with that though, where would everyone be at this moment as this like essentially this military campsite of three armies that have converged? Where would everyone be?
Has the Kodiak landed here, or have we just been dropped off and then that's headed off?
The Kodiak has landed, um, but it is not being currently utilized, mainly to save power.
I was just wondering if they have quarters there, maybe rather than pitching tents. We're staying on there
Um,
as the
for
emissaries from our people.
for the sake of saving magical energy and magical power, they have uh landed in it and essentially just shut it off.
Okay.
Um, so there is like you may use it as quarters, but it has no power to sustain uh everything on it.
I'd have to make my own coffee.
Yes.
Okay.
What a disaster.
But yes, so where would everyone be?
I want to find a trash panda.
So you want to find Trash Panda.
Yep.
Okay.
I want to find the princess for a discreet word at some point.
Okay.
Then that's where I am.
Okay. And then Barris and Numpty, where would you two be?
I'm looking for someone that looks magical to talk to.
Uh, you don't even have to roll for that. There's plenty of mages around from the other kingdoms.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna need a refresher. I was distracted, having some annoying complications when it comes to getting a dinner, so I missed a bit of that.
You're fine. You're fine. Uh, the Kodiak, the airship, has landed in the kingdom, and is currently uh parked essentially next to uh the military campsite for all of the leaders that you have uh allied yourselves with. The kingdom, between Grettenborough, Ketterland, and Withia. Uh, oh, sorry. Uh, and just the armies of all three nations are here, and like there's a like what I will call a city of tents.
Okay.
Where would you be?
Well,
Uh,
where would they put me, considering the?
Yeah, I was going to say after I have this word with the princess, I was going to go and check on Numpty.
um, I mean, the given the fact that you are the princess's party members, you guys are given essentially free reign to move as you please. Um, with with thoughts mainly for the fact that um if anyone is going to go and do the deed, it will be you five. So they are at least the soldiers and mages that are all here. Uh, they are not really. They're not under your direct command, but they all give you like a polite nod as you walk by.
I suppose as we've kind of fast forwarded a few days here, perhaps have we had any
Yes.
word as to what's happened with Numpty, or is he still unconscious?
Numpty is. I would say Numpty is awake again. It's been a few days. Um, I would say so. Uh, that is up to Numpty
Yeah,
on what.
I suppose like after like late the next day after the headbutting the floor, he probably would have been found like just serenading the people who are looking at him. He just like wakes up, pulls out a guitar, and starts playing, singing about plot points and stuff.
Yeah.
Perhaps I've maybe wandered past and everyone's looking concerned, and I say, "Oh, he's back to normal now." Then
Oh.
Hi, bear bread thing. You?
hey, Numpty, how are you feeling?
Yeah. Let's just say that was the scene from like in transit.
Yeah.
So for
Yeah.
now, I suppose Numpty would just kind of be like, how organized are the tents? Are they like in a pattern, or is it just kind of
In
sprawled out?
in some areas it's like nice and neat 90-degree angles. In some areas it's just scattered tents. Um uh you kind of like notice it to be like certain um like some of the scientists and whatnot for Ketterland, like a lot of their tents are like 90-degree angles and stuff like that, but a lot of the other like just regular base soldiers, they just don't care and they just put their tents up wherever.
Yeah, it occurs to me it doesn't overly matter. Put it bluntly, Numpty go burr. Brr. He's just like bombing it down like lanes of tents and just running around like
Just
a happy dog.
as a dog or just Numpty style?
Numpty style.
Okay.
I
Given you
forgot,
are,
like, he could be a dog, but
yeah,
no.
I had to ask because you are a druid.
I will say he will be on all fours for part of it.
He's like,
That
wait a
doesn't
minute, I
surprise me.
forgot to. He's like, I just imagine Numpty like running on all fours and going, wait, I forgot to transform into a dog. Oh well, I just kept going.
He might
But
also
yes.
be singing to himself like Ferret and Ruby up a tree. I don't know how to spell anything. I don't know.
But yes, so we'll go ahead and take care of Ferret and Bread, y'all's interaction. So Bread, you do find Ferret fairly easily. I mean, you guys kind of like your tents are like fairly close to each other. But yeah.
Hey, princess. Could I have a word?
Of course you can, Brad.
I look slightly sort of kind of torn. And can we maybe duck into your tent or something, just so we're in private?
Yeah. Sounds serious. What's
Um,
up?
This is how rumors start.
Oh God. Don't need
fanfic
another one.
writers, ready your pens.
I don't need another rumor. Please don't.
Yeah, princess. I know you're going to be sort of representing us at this conflab that's coming up. I think perhaps we should exercise discretion about some of the equipment we have.
Oh, what do you mean?
Um, but perhaps it's for the best if the other members of the coalition don't know about these. And I sort of kind of jiggle my bag slightly.
What?
The prototypes.
Oh,
Perhaps we shouldn't. Perhaps it shouldn't be common knowledge that such a thing exists.
I mean, yeah, okay. I mean, that's all you. Like, I have nothing to do with that, though.
Just in case that there's a strategic planning meeting and they ask what your plans are for dealing with your sister, we should maybe leave those out of the plan and keep it between us.
Where's this coming from?
Just some of the coalition are heavy magic users and some of them aren't, and I just worry that some people might get the wrong idea about what they're for.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah. I mean, I honestly have no idea how they work or what they do or whatever is going on with them. It seems far too complex for me, so I mean, I wasn't
I
giving them a second thought, really.
I feel like the magic users might not be impressed if they knew someone had constructed a thing that could disrupt a significant part of their identity.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I will keep that out of any plans. You don't have to worry about that.
Okay. I know you'll do great.
Oh, thanks.
We all believe in you, especially Ruby. Wink.
Barrett's just confused as to why he mentioned Ruby.
Wait, Brett, are you winking or did you say wink?
Yeah, are you actually winking
Wink.
or?
Wink, wink. Yeah. I say it, and Ferret presumably looks somewhat perplexed.
Yeah, very
I kind of
confused.
wiggle my eyebrows. Yeah.
But
And then leave the tent, completely oblivious to the fact that I've completely missed the point with that, and now maybe someone has just seen me leaving the princess's tent and is drawing the same incorrect conclusion,
Oh,
and they're winking at me. I don't know.
hope not.
But
I hope not too, because I feel like I've probably only been in there for a few minutes.
yeah, as you leave, Brett, you actually are like greeted with like, almost immediately, like you almost bump right into them as you see two goat people uh like
I I clutch the handle of the bag slightly tighter.
no,
Oh.
there's a man and a woman. They look at you. They go. The man looks at you. Goes, Sir Brett, I am looking for Princess Ferret. Have you seen her?
Who's asking? Who are you? I don't know if I've seen you before.
Oh, we are looking for her to take her to the meeting for between the world the world leaders. We work directly with the Queen of Grettenborough.
I probably just trust them and say, yes, yes. Am I still by the tent?
Yes.
I say, Princess, there's some envoys from Grettenborough. They're here to take you to the meeting.
Okay. And I pop my head out, and I'm still slightly blushing from realizing what Brad was insinuating earlier. Like, hello.
Do these guys need to roll for perception to see if they misunderstand why you're flushed?
For God's sakes, can we not?
Sorry.
No, I don't think they're concerned about that at all. They're trying to do their job. But she go the 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 man looks at you and just kind of like you see him like kind of like straighten up his posture just a little bit. She goes, Princess Ferret, the other world leaders are waiting for you. If you would like to join the meeting.
Of course, of course. Lead the way.
Very well. Um, I am Ezra, and this is my sister, Lissa. We will take you to the tent. They lead you. They lead you away from Bread and everyone around, and they take you to a fairly large tent with multiple like flags. Like you see four flags up in front of the tent. Three of them are the nations that you have allied with, and one is Chaosity's flag standing in front of it. Um, you they lead you inside, and they essentially announce your presence, and uh, they kind of like give their like a bow or a curtsy to the other world leaders as they leave the tent. Um, yeah, but you see them all kind of like sitting around at a table, and there's a empty chair uh, uh, at said table, and they're just like they're sitting and they look at you, kind of just waiting for you. It looks like they are just waiting for you to take a seat.
Okay, I'll say that it's wonderful to see everyone again, and go and sit down, I guess.
And you hear the queen gives you a slight nod, and she goes, "Likewise, it is a pleasure to see you again as well." Um, the uh, 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 Ital, and the Oracle also give you a nod, and uh,
You okay there?
Focused.
sorry. God damn it, Beatrix. Okay, sorry.
Oh
um,
no.
um, sorry. Um, but they give you a nod, and they're like, "Well, I believe," and Itel looks at everyone and goes, "Well, I believe we can begin." Yes. Everyone kind of gives their nod and stuff like that, and um, the Oracle gives you a very stern look, Ferret, and goes, "What are you planning on doing with your kingdom?
Uh, okay. Straight, straight in with the questions. In what way?
How will you lead your people?"
Uh,
Just say forward. It always sounds good.
uh, uh, that is a very good question. I have obviously given it a little thought, but I certainly nowhere near the throne myself yet.
I mean, I understand that, but for all intents and purposes, if your father is no longer of this world, and there is no one else to rule, you will end up taking the seat. So, in the case that we find this out after the battle, there is a good chance, or there is a chance that you will be named the ruler of your country after we finish this war.
Well,
I need.
first things first. Let's get something straight. My mother is the ruler of Chaosity, not my father. It always gets confused. Um, but in order for me to take the throne, both of them would have to. Something would have had to have happened to both of them.
And that
But
possibility is still the possibility exists. So, I will ask again, if that possibility is something that happens, and you are named ruler of Chaosity and your kingdom, how will you lead your people?
well, I mean, after the nightmare that they seem to be going through at the moment, my priority would be to make sure they are as safe and settled as possible. Um, they, I do what I must for my people, to keep them comfortable and out of conflict.
That's a good ideal, but how will you execute it? Having an ideal without a plan is just nothing. You cannot be able to lead your people without a plan.
Who said I didn't have a plan?
You didn't present me a plan, you presented me an idea.
Not wrong there. um. Well, I don't have a concrete plan at the moment. I don't know the damage that has been done to my kingdom while under my sister's rule.
You see him like put his hand on his face as if he's like rubbing his eyes. You can tell he's slightly annoyed. She the queen like kind of stops him before he can even say something else. He goes, "She's still young, Oracle. To expect her to have everything flushed out before such important battle is a little presumptuous. I have faith that the young princess will live up to her people's expectations. Now, whether she decides to lead in a progressive way or not is completely up to her. Um,
I will be completely honest with you all. I, as I'm sure you all know, was never meant to rule Chaosity. Therefore, I did not have the same training as my sister. I honestly completely out of my depth, and I do not have a plan on how to lead my kingdom. But I can assure you that I would lead it with honesty, and I'm not sure. I'll be
you,
honest.
it, it's
Cards on the
how
table time. I have no idea.
okay.
That is brutally honest. In
Yeah.
fairness to her.
It's how kind of just looks at you like, what did I say a few days ago? Kind of like the really worried look. Um,
Honesty
and
is the best policy.
yeah, the Oracle looks at you in almost, with almost disgust.
Oh no.
Oh.
Goes, so let me get this straight. You come seeking allies for a war to fight for your kingdom, with the possibility that there will be no ruler in the future?
I never said that,
Well,
did I?
if you don't have the knowledge to rule or the ability to rule, in case your parents are not uh, available,
I'm sorry, I'm
who
sure not everyone starts off perfect.
no one does, but not having a plan is even worse.
Well, I seem to have gotten this far, and you're all here, listening to my speech. You're all willing to help me. I proved myself, and I have somehow gotten here. Does that not count for anything?
You see the Oracle about to speak, and the Queen again like interrupts and goes, "Sir Oracle, just a moment. Princess Ferret, I do, as I do understand what you mean. You have come far, and I will readily admit that it has been impressive. You got 3 nations to come and help you with retaking your kingdom from potentially a tyrant ruler and stopping the what could potentially be a repeat of history. However, I do share the frustration the Oracle has. You're still a child, and you don't have. Well, personally, I don't think you have ideals of your own. We are all. I think we all worry. Everyone here in this table worries whether or not you will be, as we said, progressive or not. Meaning, we don't know if the future of your nation will turn out to be stagnant like the rule under your parents, where, quite frankly, the persecution of mages has been harsh. but we're also worried that if that is not the case, and you let mages roam rampant, that there would be another event such as uh, the Mad King. So we want to know whether or not, if you were the one to rule, would you uh, how would I say, will you follow in the footsteps of your family, or would you lead your own nation in your own way?
Why do I actually feel so nervous right now? uh,
Palms are sweaty.
literally. Fuck's sake, oh man, what are you doing to me?
Hot spaghetti. I'm typing up something to you, Ferret, in case it helps.
Oh, cool. Okay, I'll
No, legitimately.
I'll bluff my way through it. And until then, what was the question?
Will you the question was, will you follow do you plan on following your family's footsteps in ruling how Chaosity has been ruling, or has been ruled by, like, your parents or the Mad King, being very either persecute having persecution to mages, or essentially ban magic altogether, like you have been for the past few years? Or will you seek to rule in your own manner?
I
It's a castle, actually, not a manor.
It's a palace, actually. Excuse me. Um.
Close enough.
I intend to rule. You know, in my own way. As I have seen from the rule of my parents, uh, we have gotten nowhere and have even caused this issue with Cordelia herself by persecuting mages. So that's clearly gotten us nowhere. But meanwhile, the opposite situation, as I have heard from those who were around during the time of the Mad King's rule, my dear Grandpa Barris, um, the opposite way was no better. I believe, and as I have seen from all of your wonderful kingdoms that you have ruled, there is a balance that can be struck between
So
it, and I would intend to. But if you would let me finish, why are we questioning this right now? Cordelia is a threat to all of you, and you all are here to help me stop that. What happens to Chaosity after can be discussed afterwards. But if Cordelia is not stopped now, then all of your kingdoms are at risk.
um give me a perception, not a perception, a persuasion roll with advantage, please.
Thank you, Banjax. Uh, persuasion with advantage?
Yes.
Hi.
Oh, wow.
They
I'm very
um
charismatic.
the oracle, because he's been sitting forward the entire time, kind of just really intent on hearing what you have to say. Like, he is, like, being very judgmental of what you have to say. You see him kind of lean back and like lower his, like, not really. I wouldn't say like it was like lower his guard, but in a way, like not necessarily in that exact way, but like he kind of like sit there and like gives you a nod. They all look at each other and they go. Then that brings us to two things. First, the oracle looks over at the queen. He goes, I believe I, myself, and the queen believe, yes, being able to find that balance of being able to use magic and stop those wanting to abuse it is something that needs to be taught. If you, after all this is said and done, would allow or if things progress and we find out that your parents are still alive, which we really hope they are. We do not wish ill will on your parents. They persecute, yes, but no one deserves to die for protecting their kingdom. That's all they wanted to do. But if you would advocate and entertain the idea of having a magical academy to teach those to help control and mitigate the damage magic can do, we can help with that. And this brings us to my final question. And they all kind of look at each other. What do you plan on doing with Cordelia?
That depends on how this battle goes. She is certainly a problem that needs to be dealt with.
So, I mean, I would imagine she would either be A, killed, or B, sentenced for her crimes and judged fairly, I would assume.
Definitely. Let's not go straight to murder. Even though she has. Let's be better than that. She clearly, as I've seen, has some interesting knowledge. But she will certainly be judged fairly and properly for the crimes she has committed.
Okay. They all look at each other and go, very well. Then you have our word. We will see this through to the end. We will help you as far as we can. And this conclude again. Etel kind of like speaks up. He goes, "I know I haven't said much, but I agree all that has been said here with some regard. And I do believe if our best chance at uh, to beating Cordelia is for Ferret to face Cordelia herself. I think our plan, as far as when we go into battle, is we clear a path for Ferret and her party all the way to the castle. Scouts have stated that they have seen Cordelia not leave the castle at all while we've been here for the past few days. If that plan is okay with the rest of us, I think that's what we should do. The Oracle and the Queen look at each other and go, I think it would be best for Ferret to face her own sister. a real test of mettle to prove not only that she is willing to not necessarily sacrifice anything for her kingdom, but rectify the wrongs that her kingdom, or not really her kingdom, have done, but what has her kingdom has given birth to. Madness and magic. I think that would be best. All agree? You see the Oracle and Itwell both nod their heads in agreement, and they kind of look at you and see if you agree with that plan.
I agree. I will get it done.
And this meeting is adjourned. As they all kind of like get up and start to like leave and whatnot, they all like they get up, they all begin to leave, and the queen stops before stops and stays behind a little bit before letting the oracle and the and Atwell leave, and the queen says, looks at kind of just over her shoulder, speaks over her shoulder to you. She goes, "I have high hopes for you.
I won't disappoint.
I don't think you will. The world of magic is a dangerous place. Quite frankly, I believe your sister was just misguided. Granted, she shouldn't be let off easily, but I believe she should live." And she walks out of the tent, and you hear the combined footsteps of her and the two personal guards, or the two personal emissaries of hers, to start to walk off, leaving you alone in the tent.
Oh, thank God.
Uh,
Ferret just collapses on the ground in like an anxious mess. Like, what just happened?
um, Leaving you there on the ground, we're going to pan over to the rest of the party, seeing what's going on. What is everyone doing as we are the night starts to roll over?
I
I
still
think
want
my
to find this
choice.
trash panda.
Okay, so you're trying to fight Trash Panda. Brad, you already had your interaction with Ferret. Was there anything else you wanted to do, sir?
I've been nervously passing the time by just tinkering with stuff in my bag, and trying to relax by fiddling with stuff. I know I need to speak to my sister at some point, but I assume that'll happen before we actually head out.
Okay, yeah. Uh, okay, so Crow. Then okay, so let's see, Barris and Numpty. What about you guys?
I made
I'm
my
just
choice.
I'm
Yeah.
just
Okay.
trying.
Okay. But what about you, Barris?
Yeah, I'm just trying to find any particular
That's right. You were
strong
trying to find
mages.
some mages. So you find plenty of mages around. None of them look particularly like exceptional. They're all like generalized mages. A lot of them like they don't look like they're anything special that would kind of just how would I say? It's just there's a lot of mages, but none of them were like, let's say, of your caliber, creating their own spells.
Disappointing. Anyone? Any of them is standing out, like not with strength, but with promise, like
Promise. Give me. Okay, I'll let you choose here. I will either let you do an Arcana check to determine the magical capabilities of some of these wizards or these spellcasters, or you could roll a perception check to visually discern like who's like who and kind of stuff like that.
Arcana is good. Hmm.
16. There's a few people that have a little bit more potential than others. They're not standoutish, but they definitely have untapped potential.
Yeah. I woke up to the most standing out person and propose that I show them some things I know, some of my spells.
Um, this wizard looks at you, goes, absolutely. If I will gladly like to take a look at your spells. More spells for my grimoire, and I can trade whatever spells I have to you if you need be.
Yes, it will be my pleasure.
All right. How long do you guys trade spells for?
As long as he's willing to.
Okay. Let me get a dice real quick. Um, you spend enough time to trade 3 spells. So you will learn. So the two of you will trade 3 spells, of which you guys do not have already.
Okay.
So, um, so after this session, you will add an additional 3 spells on top of what you already have. Um, they are not they won't be custom spells. It will just be spells out of the
Okay.
normal spellbook. But yeah, nothing of that nothing of that sort. Actually, he actually stops you. He goes, but he actually goes, you should also take this, and he hands you a staff. He goes, I have this one. They've been outfitting us with staffs for the upcoming battles. But you should be able to take one yourself. And I ended up getting an extra on accident. And he hands you a staff. Um, it is currently better than your old staff, or your current staff. Um, he goes, uh, be careful out there.
Thank you. Have this in return, and I give him or her a card out of my deck.
Uh,
It could really save your life out there.
he gives you a nod. He goes, thank you. Goes off on his way. Numdi, I already know where you are. Numdi is
Oh yeah.
giving a pep talk.
Yeah, and I'd also like to add that he somehow got his hands on some officer's like military cap or something, and he's wearing that as he's doing this.
Nice. There's that. And so finally, Crow, while you are looking around for young raccoon girl, you uh you see. Give me a perception check. Actually, I'm sorry.
I will give you a perception check. I will perceive the fuck out of you.
I'll laugh if you roll on that one.
Shit.
Oh.
13. No, 13 is actually what I wanted you to hit. You notice a crow with a piece of parchment in its beak.
Mm. I approach the crow.
The crow drops the parchment and flies off.
Well, I guess I will pick up the parchment.
All right, cool. In the parchment, as you pick up the parchment, assuming you read it.
Yes, yes, I do.
Okay. you you begin to read the parchment, and you uh it says I have such a, it goes on a very short message. It says well, what you can surmise what it says. It says that I have received your letters, and if you care to meet, uh uh please do so at your earliest convenience.
All right. I see.
Uh,
I will
uh,
still continue looking for this trash panda.
um
That's more
go ahead
important,
and give me
apparently.
go ahead and give me another perception check for the trash panda.
Yes, yes.
Mind if,
Please. So help me God.
mind if I do another test?
Fuck!
Ah!
There is no trash panda to be found. However, there is a shadowy figure uh as uh like nearby, looking at you. You recognize this shadowy figure anywhere because you have been in the shadows yourself. You know this technique.
Mm-hmm.
Out steps the shadows, and Ro is in front of you.
Oh. Hi. What are you doing here?
Just checking up. He goes, I've been in the capital city for far too long. We have our own little rebellion going on there, causing as much chaos as we can possibly can, to try and shake things off, uh, or shake things around, so it'd be easier for everyone when you guys launch your attack.
Right.
I just wanted to come in and check in on you and Ferret, but I can't seem to find her. Um,
I I saw her a bit over in that direction earlier, so if you want to find her, she'll be around there probably.
yeah. He goes, cool. Thank you. And he kind of just walks over, puts his hand on your shoulder, and he goes, "You've done a good job.
Thanks.
Proud of you. I'm proud of you."
Thank you. I really did my best.
He did nothing.
Um,
Please let my daddy be proud of me for once. Please.
um, he goes, "Please be safe out there,
I will do my best.
and for the love of it, don't die on me."
That's actually why I want to find this cute little raccoon girl.
He goes,
Um,
he
I'm
goes,
worried that I might not make it.
he looks at you. He goes, he see him think for a second. He goes, "Oh, he's over with the bunch of group of scientists over there. They're currently eating whatever they're serving over there. Don't
Thank
bother."
God, Ro.
He goes, "All right, I'm gonna go."
It's cool if you call you Ro now, right?
Oh, of course. But he goes, uh,
Can I get a real
"Just
name now too? Like a real boy?
whatever you want your name to be."
All right, I'll think about it. But thank you.
Good. He goes, "I'm gonna go off to go find Ferret," and he kind of disappears. Um, I'm assuming you run over to
Yes.
this little raccoon girl. And what do you say? What do you say as you get there?
Are you gonna be playing this raccoon girl?
You, I really
Can you
hope.
do like a good female voice or something?
What do you say?
Listen here. I am not like used to this war. This isn't me. So I'm afraid that I'm not gonna be able to make it. I've never like fought in such a big scale before. I've written you a letter, but please open it if I don't make it back.
She grabs grabs the letter. She looks at you. She looks at you. She slaps the shit out of you. She goes, "You better come back. Don't you die on me."
I will do my best, but no promises.
Um. She folds up the letter. She puts it in one of her pockets. Um. uh. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Uh. Uh. You guys continue, I guess, to have a conversation, stuff like that, throughout the night. But Fair, are you still like slumped over in the meeting tent?
I sure.
Yeah. You're sitting there just trying to get control of your nerves. Um. Uh. You hear footsteps coming from around the tent, and through the tent, Ro comes in.
Oh my god, bro, I am so happy to see you.
As am I, Ferret. I got your message. I'm glad everything is going well. I'm glad you've got the allies. I've been give you a small update. I've been partially leading a resistance within the cities of Chaosity, using the nest and the tunnels thereof to kind of launch minor guerrilla tactics to try and cause problems. Uh, um, okay. Try to cause a lot of chaos within the city, so it'd be easier for the invading force to be able to fight. Um, it's been going well so far, but must head back as soon as possible to make sure everything is okay.
I'm just glad to see that you're safe.
I told you, if Gosha couldn't find me, ain't no one can.
How have you seen much of Cordelia?
She has not left the castle almost at all. But whatever she's doing, it's got all these people in a frenzy. Or, well, mindless, really. The only ones that seem to have any control over themselves are the demons that she uh, controls or commands. Everyone else, the remaining soldiers and everything that everyone in the militia that we had for within Chaosity, they've all been subjugated to her magic and they've been controlled. Um, so whether they willingly submitted or not, I don't know.
I wouldn't imagine so. I see. It sounds like quite a situation that we're going into.
Yeah, yes. But I'm glad to see that you are also well. I worried that whether or not you would be successful, but I'm glad.
You worried? Bro, you offend me. You know I could do this.
Mhm. Well, I have to head back. Uh, but I will either see you on the battlefield or right after.
Okay. Please stay safe out there.
I will. You see him kind of just like turn and walk back through the tent and just like with this time no footsteps like leave as soon as he exits the tent. Just you hear a slight like whooshing of wind and just silence. Other than the outside commotion of people talking, chattering, and of the just noise of the campsite. That is there anything else that anyone wants to do or say or ask of anything?
I wanna look for bread.
Look for bread. Uh, bread. Where would you be, sir?
I so the Kodiak's powered down at the moment, so I guess I've probably just found somewhere to sit just outside the Kodiak, and I'm just sort of I've got like a little makeshift worktop or something that and I'm just kind of tinkering about with stuff.
Oh,
So
okay, so you'd be with where the rest of the tinkers and stuff like that would be,
yeah,
which
yeah.
wouldn't be too hard to surmise given it's bread. So I'd say Crow, you'd be able to find bread fairly easily. Um,
Hey, how you doing, buddy? How you holding up? Are you a bit nervous?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know how long this thing was meant to take. I mean, do you think we should have heard back from the princess yet? Like, I haven't seen her. I haven't seen my sister yet. I don't know if they're still talking or just a bit nervous. I wonder how it's gone.
Yeah, I wonder too. Um, I have like um I've been like talking to some of these other folk, and there's like a party that is going to scout ahead, and I kind of want to use my prowesses there. So I'm gonna join them, and I'll be back in a bit with like a report on what I found.
Oh, okay. Um, is it safe?
I mean, yeah, like it's better for me to go alone, right? I can stick to the shadows, and you'd be sticking out like a sore thumb. No offense.
You're not trying to prove anything, are you?
Oh
Because
no.
you were a great help back in the lab. I know the princess has been winding you up, but
No, I just want to use my skill set um for what I can for now, because I don't know how like I'm gonna be able to act in on a grand battlefield, you know? So I want to use my information gathering skills as much as I can beforehand.
is there anything I can do to help you, or any equipment I might have that might be of use to you?
Um, my um, I better carry a light with the equipment that I do have. But if you have any suggestions for any like cool little artifacts that you have, like small little portable things.
Um, sorry, let me just check what I swapped out earlier. Sorry, you've caught me by surprise, and I just need to I just need to work out how D&D Beyond works.
While you're doing that,
Yeah, sorry, go for it.
never mind.
Oh.
Does
Not...
Crow have a way to communicate back with us if he's?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, okay. I was thinking maybe I could sort of prep something for that. I feel like I should try and dig something out of the bag that's going to be useful for you, but
I mean, based off what Crow has, he literally can just be in the shadows and just stay there. And currently it's night, so he does no need for like staying hidden at the very least.
Yeah, I was wondering if I should like replicate some sending stones for him. But if he has a way to communicate back with us anyway, then
Yeah.
there's no
But
point.
I appreciate the gesture nonetheless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I sort of try to sound like I'm going to be useful. So, I could do this, and maybe you're like, no, it's cool.
Put
I
my
can.
hand on your shoulder and be like,
Okay.
"It's okay, thank you."
Can
I
I
got
sort
this.
of, do some sort of, kind of grasp each other's kind of hand, not like a handshake, like the inverted handshake kind of thing, and say, hey, just be careful.
Okay.
It's my forte. And especially with this like newly acquired skill, I don't think I'll have many issues. But thank you for your concern.
Yeah. So
I sort of jiggle the bag and I say, well, I'll get the drinks out when this is all done.
Yeah, can't wait.
okay. So with that, I believe you're going to do off what you wanted to do to try and benefit. But so you're going to head off for this. I'm assuming you're going to meet everyone on the battlefield later and or come back later.
Yeah, indeed, I'll probably report as they are advancing.
Okay, so probably on the battlefield when everyone gets there.
Yeah.
Relay. Okay, cool. In that case, let's see. Where were we at? Time. Okay. Actually, with that, with a few like a day or two's rest, for anyone that has used Bears, you're the one who used a spell slot earlier in the session, so you may regain your spell slots. You also they get with you later. I'll ask one more time. Does anyone have anything else they want to do or to take care of, ask questions or anything of that nature?
Can
I
I
think
go
my
and
troops are ready.
Can I go and check in with my sister, because she did say to catch up with her before we left?
That's true. What did you say, Numpty?
I believe my troops are prepared.
Yes. Very well.
Your
Very
troop.
good.
I like how excitable that yes was.
What?
Yes.
What?
Never mind, Ferret. This fine.
You hear a lot of neighing in the background.
Oh no.
But you go and find Etoile kind of just nearby. She's looks like she's taking inventory and things of that nature of supplies. Uh, you approach her. She gives you she like she doesn't notice you walking up until you're like right next to her. Um, she looks up, looks at you. She um puts down her like clipboard and everything. She goes, "Uh, what's up, Red?"
Looks like it's almost showtime, I guess.
Yeah, I
You said
I just wanted to say to be safe out there.
hey.
You may have caused me problems, and you see her shake her leg, her robotic leg, a little bit in the past, but it's still my brother.
Thank you.
She, clipboard's still in hand. She goes and gives you she gives you a bear hug, and
Naturally.
and she goes, if you need anything from the camp before anyone heads out, take what you can and use it. Equipment, enchanted items, even mundane items if you need them. Go ahead and take them. I think
Thank
that
you.
includes for everyone in your party.
Okay, I'll let them know before we head out. Hopefully, I can catch Crow before he sets off as well.
Yes. Well, I gotta make sure everything is good to go. Just when it's all said and done, just be safe out there.
You too. I give her another hug.
You give her another hug. She I think you guys part, and she kind of gives you a nod. And she kind of like goes back to her clipboard and starts taking inventory again. And with that, we will call the session here.
Oh,
Ooh.
actually, I assume if this is a couple of days later, we've reconvened as a party, and Ferret sort of filled us in as to how everything went.
Crow has informed me that he's still scouting. He will meet you guys on the battlefield.
Yeah.
Okay. So, with that though, like I said, as far as like any equipment upgrades and stuff like that, we will handle post session and later. But for all intents and purposes, so everyone knows, episode 10, the next session, is the finale for Risky Business and Roll for Chaos for chapter 1. I will definitely say that this is something that you guys, though I mean obviously the players, you're not going to want to miss it. I really hope you're going to be there for that. But for anyone that's watching and everyone that is watching, I have put a lot of work up into this finale, and there's still a lot of work going into it until the day it happens. With that being said, post-session stuff, everyone should be leveled up to level 9.
Ooh.
You'll be level 9 going into the final battle.
Fun time.
I will get with each of one of you for your respective upgrades for equipment if you guys so desire. Some upgrades. There to answer Georgia's question for about emotional damage, I can't really say emotional damage, but for everyone, and I think I've done a good job of storytelling and doing what I do best, where no one is going to see what I have planned coming.
Cool.
So, with that being said, though, I really hope you guys will enjoy it, and I'm excited. Are y'all?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Definitely.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm.
Dramatic
Horses.
finale heist.
Yep.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Horses.
But yes, the finale, the final battle for Chaosity is upon us.
Horses.
My fucking god, numpty.
The fuck are you doing with horses?
Better if you don't ask.
Okay.
Uh,
All right.
oh lord.
But yes,
So are we sort of all dramatically sort of heading into the
as
cargo hold of the Kodiak, and I'm like, okay, if this is it, we should get
Yes.
loaded for bear.
And I will provide you all with one last image before we fully end this session. I want you to imagine 3 very distinct armies. One loaded up with various, looks like almost not necessarily futuristic technology, but various versions of diplomacy and tools and weapons, all look like they have been tinkered with and made to be enchanted magical items. You see another ragtag group of, or ragtag army of various races, humans, dwarves, elves, and other various races, including gnomes, all ready and willing to fight. You also happen to see you see Ruby's party amongst them, ready and willing to lead that army into battle. And then finally, various warriors and mages, all of the goat race, ready with the queen in front of them, in battle attire. The only ruler there, the only ruler there that is in battle attire and going into battle with their army. Etwell is not fit for battle herself, given her injuries, and the Oracle, he's not really a war person. He is more of a advisor and things of that nature.
Of course he isn't.
I mean, he is still a very powerful mage. Just their belief, or at least his position, will not allow him to go into battle. Though as much as he really wants to go, he stands there, like, you see him giving magical and like he gives, you see him like chanting magical spells, and it looks like enchanting his soldiers, ready to go into battle. So he's at least doing something for his army. But as that, after you guys have equipped yourself and geared up from the Kodiak, you guys stand at the front of these armies. I will ask, Ferret, do you wish to say anything to these people before you go into battle?
Don't put me on the spot like that again.
You don't. You can say no. You don't have to give no pep speech.
Numpty will do it for you if you want him to.
Could you
I don't-
imagine?
Do we see you sort of looking like you feel like you should say something, but kind of seeming nervous and anxious?
No. I turn around and I say,
Good luck, have fun.
I say thank you all for joining me here. I wish us all the best of luck in this fight.
We're probably gonna need it.
You're not there, Crow. Hush.
Yeah. The hell?
But the
Princess,
queen kind of
stop.
steps up and she puts her hand on your shoulder. She goes, "All is fine," and she looks at everyone. She goes, you see her raise a sword up in the sky, pointed to the sky. She looks at everyone. She yells, although being very, very noble, even though she's yelling, she begins to yell,
Even she doesn't know.
oh god, sorry. I'm trying to figure out how a noble would yell, sounding noble while yelling.
It's the proximity to the city. Maybe we're feeling just the edge of Cordelia's influence messing with our minds.
You see her raise her sword up. She looks at everyone, looks at you, Ferret. She goes, "Their allies for balance, and for new friends. I want to see all of you alive and well. Give it your all, and we shall prevail.
Whoop whoop.
For Princess Ferret! For Chaosity! And then you hear everyone just roar with with just high morale. She turns, she points her sword towards the city. You hear, and she goes, "Attack!" And everyone, the horse riders and everyone on foot, rushing towards the city. And I will leave you all with that image.
They're so fucked.
what? What the hell? That
I'm
is-
sorry.
Is that because you stole all their horses?
What? I didn't steal any horses.
No,
Mhm.
so all the horse riders, they're all on horses. All the horses have people on them, so they're riding in the battle.
If you want, I will try think of a legitimate suggested strategy for the horses, if it helps.
I don't think that's necessary.
Okay. I just hope that you have fun with it.
Yes. But
For real though,
yes,
I had a speech.
yeah.
Well, I found a speech.
Oh, lovely. But yes. With that, that'll be the image I leave you guys for until the finale.